Hey Garden Fam! Welcome back to The Sprout. Today we're talking about one of the most beloved flowers in the world, the peony. Those enormous, ruffled, fragrant blooms in pink, white, red, coral, and yellow. The flowers that look like they belong in a wedding bouquet. The plants that outlive houses. I've seen peonies that were planted by grandmothers 50 or 60 years ago, still blooming their hearts out every spring. That's the magic of peonies. Plant them once and they bloom for generations. But here's the thing, peonies have one critical requirement. Get it wrong and you'll have beautiful leaves and zero flowers for years. I'm talking about planting depth. Peonies are very particular about how deep they're planted, and they're heavy. Those huge blooms need support. In this video, I'll teach you everything you need to know. Planting depth, sun, soil, watering, fertilizing, staking, pruning, dividing, common problems, and how to get those massive, fragrant blooms year after year. Before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We put out new gardening videos every week, and I don't want you to miss the next one. Also, drop a comment below. Do you grow peonies? What color? How old are they? I'd love to hear about it. Now, let's get into it. First, let's talk about why peonies are so special. Peonies are long-lived perennials. They can live for 50 years or more with minimal care. There are three main types. Herbaceous peonies are the most common. They die back to the ground in winter and regrow in spring. Their flowers come in single, semi-double, double, and Japanese forms. Tree peonies have woody stems that don't die back. They bloom earlier and have larger flowers. Intersectional peonies, also called Ito peonies, are hybrids between herbaceous and tree peonies. They have the big flowers of tree peonies and the growth habit of herbaceous peonies. They're excellent. Now let's talk about popular varieties. Sarah Bernhardt is the classic. Large, double, soft pink blooms. Very fragrant, extremely popular. Carl Rosenfeld has huge, double, deep red flowers. Very reliable. Bowl of Beauty has single pink petals around a creamy yellow center. It's beautiful and different. Coral Charm has coral pink flowers that fade to peach and then cream. It's stunning. Bartzella is a yellow intersectional peony. It's vigorous and long-blooming. Festiva Maxima is white with red flecks. It's been around for over 150 years. Now let's start with sun requirements. Peonies need full sun. They need at least 6 hours of direct sunlight every day. In too much shade, they won't bloom. You'll get lots of leaves and no flowers. In very hot climates, a little afternoon shade helps the flowers last longer, but morning sun is essential. So find your sunniest spot. That's where peonies belong. Now let's talk about soil. Peonies need well-draining, fertile soil. They prefer a pH between 6.0 and 7.0, neutral to slightly acidic. They don't like wet feet. If you have heavy clay soil, amend it with compost or sand. Raised beds are excellent for peonies. They also need soil rich in organic matter. Mix compost into your planting area before planting. Now let's talk about planting. This is the most important part of peony care. The best time to plant peonies is fall, from September to November. You can plant in spring, but fall is better. Peonies are sold as bare root divisions. They look like small, brown, knobby potatoes with roots attached. Those knobby buds are called eyes. Here's the critical rule. Plant peonies so the eyes are no more than 2 inches below the soil surface. In warmer climates, plant them with the eyes just 1 inch deep. If you plant them too deep, they won't bloom. If you plant them too shallow, the roots may freeze. The eyes should be pointing up. Dig a hole wide enough to spread the roots. Place the division in the hole with the eyes up. Backfill with soil, making sure the eyes are at the correct depth. Water thoroughly. Space peonies 2 to 3 feet apart. They need room to grow. Now let's talk about watering. Water thoroughly after planting. During the first year, water regularly to help the roots establish. After that, peonies are quite drought tolerant. Water deeply once a week during dry spells. Don't overwater. Peonies don't like wet feet. In fall, after the foliage dies back, stop watering. Now let's talk about fertilizing. Peonies are heavy feeders. In early spring, as soon as the shoots emerge, apply a low nitrogen fertilizer like 5-10-10 or bone meal. Too much nitrogen gives you leaves, not flowers. A second light feeding after the flowers fade helps the plant store energy for next year. Do not fertilize after midsummer. You want the plant to prepare for winter, not push out soft new growth. For organic options, use composted manure, bone meal, or wood ash. Now let's talk about staking. Peony flowers are heavy. A double peony in full bloom can weigh down the stems, especially after rain. Without support, the stems flop over. The flowers end up in the mud. To prevent this, install supports in early spring when the shoots are a few inches tall. Use peony rings, grow-through grids, or metal hoops. The support should be about 18 to 24 inches tall. As the plant grows, the stems push up through the support. You can also use individual stakes and soft plant ties for each stem. Do this early, before the foliage gets dense. Now let's talk about pruning. In late fall, after the first hard frost, the leaves will turn brown and die back. Cut the stems back to about 1 to 2 inches above the ground. Remove all the foliage. Do not compost it. Peony foliage can carry fungal diseases that survive in compost. Dispose of it in the trash. In spring, remove any remaining debris. Do not cut back tree peonies. They have woody stems that should not be cut to the ground. For tree peonies, remove only dead or damaged wood. Now let's talk about ants. Peony buds produce nectar. Ants love it. You'll see ants crawling on peony buds. They're not hurting the plant, they're eating the nectar. There's no need to kill them. They will not hurt the flowers. In fact, some gardeners say ants help the buds open, though this is mostly a myth. Don't spray the buds with insecticide. You'll harm the plant. Just let the ants be. If you're cutting peonies for a bouquet, simply shake the flowers outside to remove the ants before bringing them indoors. Now let's talk about common problems. Let's go through them one by one. Problem 1. No flowers. This is almost always because the peonies were planted too deep. The eye should be no more than 2 inches below the soil surface. Also, too much shade, too much nitrogen fertilizer, or young plants may take a few years to bloom. Problem 2. Buds turn brown and dry up without opening. This is called bud blast. It can be caused by late frost, lack of water, or thrips. Thrips are tiny insects that get inside the buds. Remove affected buds. If thrips are the problem, use insecticidal soap early in the season. Problem 3. Powdery mildew. White powder on leaves. Common in humid weather with poor air circulation. Space plants properly. Water at the base. Remove affected leaves. Peonies are prone to this, especially late in the season. Problem 4. Botrytis blight. Brown, mushy spots on stems and buds. This is a serious fungal disease. Remove affected plant parts immediately. Don't compost them. Improve air circulation. In severe cases, use a fungicide in early spring. Problem 5. Leaves turning yellow in summer. Normal for older leaves. If the whole plant turns yellow early, it could be overwatering or nutrient deficiency. Problem 6. Peonies not blooming after being moved. Moving peonies sets them back. They may take 2 or 3 years to bloom again. Be patient. Problem 7. Ants on peonies. Not a problem. Don't spray. Here's where you come in. Drop a comment below. Do you grow peonies? What's your favorite variety? Have you ever planted them too deep? I'd love to know. Now let's talk about dividing peonies. Peonies don't need to be divided often. In fact, they prefer not to be disturbed. If your peony is healthy and blooming, leave it alone. Only divide if the plant is overgrown, the center is dying out, or you want more plants. The best time to divide is fall. Dig up the entire plant, wash off the soil, cut the roots into sections, each with 3 to 5 eyes and healthy roots. Replant immediately at the correct depth. Be patient. Divided peonies may take 2 to 3 years to bloom again. Now let's talk about cutting peonies for bouquets. Cut peonies in the morning when the buds are soft and showing color. Cut the stems at an angle. Remove most of the leaves. Put them in water immediately. Peonies open quickly in warm rooms. For longer-lasting blooms, cut them when the buds are still tight. Wrap them in plastic and store in the refrigerator. They'll last for weeks. When you're ready to use them, take them out, cut the stems, and put them in room-temperature water. They'll open in a day or two. Now let's talk about peonies in warm climates. Peonies need winter cold to bloom. They need a period of chilling to set flower buds. This is called vernalization. In warm climates, zones 8 and above, peonies may not get enough cold. If you live in a warm climate, look for low-chill varieties like Festiva Maxima or Kansas. Some gardeners in very warm climates chill peony roots in the refrigerator for 6 to 8 weeks before planting. This can help them bloom. Let me give you a few quick answers to common questions. How long do peonies live? 50 years or more with good care. When do peonies bloom? Late spring to early summer, depending on the variety. Can I move peonies? Yes, in fall, but they may not bloom for 2 to 3 years afterward. Do deer eat peonies? No, peonies are deer resistant. Why are my peony leaves turning black? Likely botrytis blight. Remove affected parts. Improve air circulation. Let's wrap everything up. Peonies are the queens of the spring garden. Plant them in fall in full sun. Give them well-draining, fertile soil. The most important rule, plant the eyes no more than 2 inches deep. Water regularly during the first year. Fertilize in early spring with a low nitrogen fertilizer. Stake the heavy blooms. Cut back the foliage in late fall. Don't worry about ants on the buds. And be patient. Peonies can take a few years to establish. Here's the most important thing to remember. Peonies reward patience and correct planting depth. Get the depth right, give them sun, and they will bloom for decades. They're not fussy plants. They just need that one thing right. Plant them too deep, and they'll punish you with years of no flowers. Plant them at the right depth, and they'll reward you with the most beautiful, fragrant blooms in the garden. Before you go, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave me a comment. Are you planting peonies this fall? What variety? I'd love to know. Also, what flower should I cover next? Iris? Lily? Daylily? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Take care of your garden, and it will take care of you. See you in the next video.